The snow fell thick and heavy that December evening, blanketing the quiet streets of Millbrook in a pristine white silence. Sarah Whitmore stood at the tall windows of her corner office, watching the flakes dance in the glow of the streetlights below. As CEO of Whitmore Industries, she had built an empire that commanded respect throughout the business world. Yet tonight, as she prepared to leave for another late dinner meeting, something felt different. Her phone buzzed insistently on the mahogany desk behind her. The caller ID showed her housekeeper's name. Sarah hesitated before answering, already knowing this would delay her evening plans. "Mrs. Whitmore," came Margaret's worried voice through the speaker. "It's Emma. She's burning up with fever, and she's been asking for you all day. The medicine isn't helping, and I'm getting concerned." Sarah closed her eyes and pressed her fingers to her temples. 8-year-old Emma, her precious daughter, had been struggling with a persistent illness for weeks. Despite the best private doctors and treatments money could buy, nothing seemed to help. The worst part was how alone Emma seemed in her battle. Sarah's demanding schedule meant she was rarely home, and Emma's private tutors and nannies, while professional, maintained their distance. "I'll be there as soon as I can," Sarah said, already reaching for her coat. The dinner meeting would have to wait. The drive home through the worsening storm was treacherous. Sarah's luxury sedan struggled against the accumulating snow, and by the time she reached her estate, the roads were nearly impassable. She found Emma curled up in her bed, small and fragile beneath layers of blankets, her cheeks flushed with fever. "Mommy," Emma whispered weakly as Sarah sat beside her. "I don't feel good." Sarah's heart clenched as she felt her daughter's burning forehead. This was more than just a cold or flu. Emma needed medical attention, and she needed it now. But as Sarah reached for her phone to call their family doctor, the lights flickered and went out. The storm had knocked out the power. Panic began to set in as Sarah realized the severity of their situation. The phone lines were down, her cell phone had no signal, and the roads were becoming impassable by the minute. Emma's breathing was becoming labored, and her fever was spiking higher. Then, through the howling wind, Sarah heard the distant rumble of an engine. Looking out the window, she saw a figure in a green uniform making his way up her driveway on foot, a red medical bag strapped to his back. It was Marcus Chen, the local paramedic who lived just down the street. Sarah had seen Marcus around the neighborhood before, usually in passing. She knew he was a single father who worked multiple jobs to support his young daughter, Lily. Their paths had crossed briefly at community events, but their worlds couldn't have been more different. While Sarah commanded boardrooms and made million-dollar decisions, Marcus quietly served his community, responding to emergencies at all hours. Sarah rushed to open the door, her usual composure completely gone. "Please," she said breathlessly, "my daughter is very sick. I don't know what to do." Marcus stepped inside, snow melting from his coat as he assessed the situation with calm professionalism. "Where is she?" he asked gently. He followed Sarah upstairs to Emma's room, where he knelt beside the bed and began his examination. His touch was gentle but confident as he checked Emma's vital signs and temperature. The little girl looked up at him with tired eyes, too weak to be afraid of the stranger. "Hi there, sweetheart," Marcus said softly. "My name is Marcus. I'm here to help you feel better, okay?" Emma managed a small nod, and something in Marcus's warm demeanor seemed to comfort her immediately. Sarah watched in amazement as her usually shy daughter responded to this stranger with complete trust. After a thorough examination, Marcus turned to Sarah with a serious expression. "She needs to get to the hospital right away. This looks like it could be pneumonia, and her breathing is becoming compromised. But the roads, Sarah said helplessly. My car can barely make it up the driveway. Marcus was already reaching for his radio. I called for an ambulance before I came up here, but they're stuck 3 blocks away. The snow is too deep. He paused, then made a decision that would change everything. I'm going to carry her to the ambulance myself. Without waiting for Sarah's response, Marcus carefully lifted Emma into his arms, wrapping her in warm blankets. The little girl instinctively snuggled against his chest, finding comfort in his steady heartbeat and calm presence. I'm coming with you, Sarah said, grabbing her coat. The journey through the storm was like something from a dream. Marcus moved steadily through the deep snow, his sure footing and strong arms keeping Emma safe and secure. Sarah walked alongside them, watching in wonder as this man she barely knew risked his own safety to help her daughter. Behind them, Margaret followed at a careful distance, while ahead, the ambulance lights cut through the swirling snow like beacons of hope. The paramedics met them halfway, but Marcus continued to hold Emma, his presence clearly comforting to the frightened child. At the hospital, as doctors and nurses took over Emma's care, Sarah found herself standing beside Marcus in the waiting room. For the first time in years, she felt truly vulnerable, stripped of all her corporate armor and reduced to simply being a worried mother. Thank you, she said quietly. I don't know how to thank you enough. Marcus smiled, his kind eyes reflecting the fluorescent hospital lights. Any parent would do the same. Emma's going to be fine. She's stronger than she looks. As if responding to his words, a doctor emerged with good news. Emma did indeed have pneumonia, but they had caught it in time. With proper treatment, she would make a full recovery. Over the following weeks, as Emma recovered, something beautiful began to unfold. Marcus would stop by to check on her progress, often bringing his own daughter Lily along. The two girls became fast friends, and Sarah found herself looking forward to these visits more than any board meeting or business dinner. She began to see the world through different eyes, watching how Marcus balanced work and fatherhood with grace and dedication. He showed her that true strength wasn't found in corporate success or financial power, but in the quiet moments of caring for others. One snowy evening, exactly a month after that frightful night, Sarah and Emma were building a snowman in their front yard when Marcus and Lily appeared with hot chocolate and warm smiles. As the children played together, their laughter echoing through the crisp winter air, Sarah realized that sometimes the most important deliveries in life aren't packages or documents, but moments of genuine human connection. The storm that had threatened to tear her world apart had instead brought the most precious gift of all, a love that would weather any season, and a family that was finally, truly complete.